Friday night. It's the best night of the week. It is for me anyway. What do you think, Cosmo? Where have you been this week? He has been so far away. It is just unreal. This is Popular Astronomy Live. It's our Friday show, and I'm going to play the countdown and wait for people to join the stream. So let's go. Plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug. You can get these in our shop, but this is only like the basic gear. Is that the basic Ford car level gear, 1.1 litre mug? But you can get the super sporty versions with such amazing captions as Stirry, Stirry Night. And I make my drinks the Milky Way. And they've got lovely galactic images embossed onto the side. And it's a very, very good mug for sipping water or a beverage of your choice. I mean, coffee would just go cold and scummy in that if I was to make a mug of it last the whole evening. But not only are we plugging the mug, I'm flirting with the shirt. That was Paul Sutherland's rhyming couplet. But it's actually warm enough for me now to wear the... Get out of the way, Cosmo. This is classic retro pop Astro shirt here. And, well, you don't need me to read it, do you? Some slight gravitational lensing going on there. But that is available from our shop. Yeah, along with all our other great T-shirts. But this is, what's the image on that, Paul? What is that? M. What M is that, please? I need to know. I should know, but I don't. 10 green comments, all for me to read. 10 already. This is like, last week we had like 250 comments and I read every single one of them. It's no wonder by the time I finish this show, my eyes are going round like a fruit machine. A couple of cherries lined up across there, 777. And you've hit the jackpot. So what I want to know is, right. Hello there, Georgina. Hi, lovely to have you on. I want to know why astronomy is the best hobby, because we might be using some of these phrases in our marketing, maybe. It's quite, we're all hooked on it. We all love it so much, but why does it seem to be like the hobby like no other? Have a little think about that and drop it into the comments. And we'd love to know. It's a bit of market research, I guess. Yeah. Okay. How many comments are there now? Oh, God, there's so many of you. It's beautiful. My children. Hang on. What's happening with the heater? I've got the heater on and the window open. I'm broadcasting from home now. Most importantly, everybody, how is my internet? Because I've got something to tell you about my internet. You will all know that I've been very excited about it in the past couple of weeks of finally being able to do a domestic show without having to traipse off down to the spooky old stables, haunted by Lord Martin Rees, the king of astronomers. And I don't have to go down there anymore. But there has been a twist in the table. A twist in the tail of the cable of my internet, which I'll tell you in a little bit. You won't believe what's happened. My 50 megs internet. Guess what happened to it? So let's have a look at the comments. Hi, Kathy and the Ragdolls. Oh, thank you, Cosmo. Somebody's even written to there. He likes being written to. Good evening. Sonia is coming up later. Hello. How are you? On my way to the underground. Bye, Paulina. See you soon before it cuts up. It froze. She's gone underground. Going underground. David Graham, we'll have to have you on. Please tell me we've not had you on already. I don't remember now. I've been doing it for nearly a year, this show. So some of the guests are hazy and lost in the mist of time. Hello, Vicky and fellow space enthusiasts. Hello, Tim J. Crook. Hi, Vicky. Back safely. I've been down on the Llŷn Peninsula today. We broke free of Anglesey for the first time since before Christmas. It's the first time I've been to the mainland since before Christmas. So that was pretty smart. I saw some mountains, saw, a Chinook helicopter refueling. That was really exciting at Caernarfon Airport. That was super. I had a Chinook go over my head. You know, the whirligigs with the two whirlers. That's a technical name for a Chinook. Good evening, Pop Astro folk. Hi, Brendan. It sure is great to be back. Do you know what? I could just spend an evening reading out comments. I don't even need to plan any content for this show. Good evening. Looking a clear night, so looking forward to the show. And afters, checking out Taurus and its Eye Aldebaran tonight. Good signal here. That's so good. That is so good. Who's putting angry faces on my live stream already? They make me sad, angry faces do. It was great down on the peninsula, Sonia. It was really, really good. And Bob Jessamine, the man with the spacious face. Okay, I'm wearing way too many clothes. It's quite warm in this room. The sun has been on it for the first time all year. Well done, Sonia. I'm looking forward to watching the construction of your space shuttle made of Lego. Okay, so... start telling me why you love a waka waka. It was a waka waka waka. It was the Fozzie Bear of helicopters. It refueled for about 20 minutes. Poor guy stood there with the nozzle. I had to put diesel in the car today, and it only took, 30 quid worth of diesel. And even that was just a nightmare in the cold wind. And the guy was stood there for maybe 20 minutes to half an hour, just refueling. And then he opened the hatch at the back and disappeared inside, and it took off. Actually, it went on wheels a little bit and then it took off. Okay, it's the next frontier to be discovered and explored. You're telling me, mate. Thank you, John. Why is astronomy the best hobby? What do you like about the social side of it? What brings you together with other astronomers? I'm dying to know, because I can't quite put my finger on why I love it so much. Good evening. Great sunset here on the northwest coast. It is a bit pretty out there, isn't it? It's going to be a nice weekend. I feel astronomy gives me the ultimate perspective of life. It does, doesn't it? And it brings you together with fellow people who've got that similar expansive outlook, shall we say. We're outward looking types, aren't we? That is nice. That's why I like it. I find my people I find my people when I circulate amongst astronomers. You got about 3 weeks to the gallon. Well done, Ian. Yeah, I think we did as well. There were fossils reforming back at the bottom of our diesel, actually. It had been there for that long. Okay, so could it be that light pollution has improved over lockdown? What do you think? Yes or no? We are chatting with two people who really know about these things. We've got Dani Robertson-Phillips. She is the dark sky officer for the Snowdonia National Park and the area of natural beauties of Ynys, that's where I live, it's Anglesey, the Llŷn Peninsula, that's where I have been today, and the Clwydian Range Dee Valley. So basically that is some of the most incredible, exquisite terrain in the whole of the UK or even the world. I think the Lonely Planet Lonely Planet nominated Wales as the 4th best country in the world, and Snowdonia and that area there is the best part of Wales. So by default, I live in the best part of the world, pretty much. It's great. She works to reduce light pollution across North Wales and to celebrate our dark skies. Then after that, we've got our slightly topsy-turvy show this evening. We have got record breaker to beat Mark Thompson, and he's going to be chatting about the reduction of light pollution since lockdown started. He's also going to have news about his insane lecture, I think it's 5 days long at the last count, to raise money for Barnardo's. Eleni is here with the space news, and Sonia Turkington will be waving goodbye to Orion, and we're going to find out where he's going on his summer holiday. See you, Orion. So, are you ready to hear my internet saga? Look at my face. Look at my face. Right. Okay. In a nutshell, if you're just joining us for the first time, you will know that I live on a holiday park. Look, you can see some holidays out the window. Do you want to see some holidays? They are holidays. Hang on. That one. That is a holiday happening right there. That is a caravan. You can see the caravan there. Yeah. Don't worry, it's all above board. My lockdown partner is the warden here, the on-site warden, and I've lived here on and off for 7 years. And basically, we get 4 or 5 meg Wi-Fi from the communal poles here. And I was having to go down to a very spooky old stable in some of the worst weather on record to go and broadcast every Friday night. And about a week and a half ago, we got direct internet here. 500 quid upgrade. It costs 500 quid. That's why we put off getting it. It was 500 quid for the upgrade. And basically this streaming software that I'm using at the minute, it has to go direct or else it can glitch. No matter how strong your Wi-Fi is, it says plug it in or else it can be glitchy. So I need to know if I'm glitchy. So the guys who came and installed it said, right, you're going to get about 20 megs. And this streaming software needs about 5. So I was like, okay. And they disappeared off. And after they left, I said, where do I plug my cable in? And Johnny said to me, they said, you can't plug your cable in. It's not got it. I was like, what? That's the whole point of getting the internet. 500 quid and I need to be able to plug in the internet. It's got to happen. So we found somewhere along the cable, a LAN cable, local area network cable, where you just plug in the little phone line. We found it. It was off out elsewhere on the cable. And we found it and we plugged it in. And do you remember my glee last week when I said, I don't know what's happened, popular astronomers, but I've got 50 megs. It's like a glitch in the matrix, and will they find out? So I've been thrilled at the thought that I've got 50 megs when I plug my cable in directly. So excited. It's like the crispest, clearest, most powerful, insanely beautiful internet. So the night before last, I am doing a show like this on another channel. I've got a guest sat there waiting. He's sat waiting for 10 minutes. He's in America. He doesn't know that my internet is glitchy. And I plug in and the thing goes off. And I'm like, what has happened? So I do loads of troubleshooting. He's sat there for nearly 20 minutes, the poor guy, waiting for me to come on. So embarrassing. Sweated through all my clothes. Just like, what is happening? Why isn't my laptop working? Why isn't the cable working? So in the morning, we troubleshot and worked out whether it was my laptop, the router, the cable. And it kept boiling back down to the fact that every time I plugged the cable in, my laptop crashed. And I said, Johnny, it's getting data, but what is happening? So I managed to get the direct number of these guys who came out and fitted this thing. We're not really meant to ring them. We're meant to go via the park. Excuse me, you know how I said my internet is really important for streaming and how I was so excited and I actually called my router the keys to the universe because it meant such a breakthrough in my life and I could live stream as and when. And he went, yes. And I went, well, the direct cable's not working. And he said, yes. He said, that was because we accidentally hooked the direct cable up to the CCTV network on the park. And we noticed lots and lots of traffic going over the CCTV network. And we traced it back to your laptop and we stopped it. And I'm like, this heartbeat, this awful feeling that I get, like my internet on a roller coaster every single time. I said, please, this is really crucial. This is why we've upgraded. And they were like, oh, well, it's very difficult to do or something. They said it's hard to do and it's going to require extra equipment. We'll try our best. So the fate of my decent internet is still in the balance, but hopefully this is okay. I just had to tell you that. I've got it off my chest. Right, we're going over to Dani now in 3. Are you ready, Dani? I can just see her in a chair there. Going over to you in 3, 2, 1. Hello. You're only in the next bay from me, aren't you?
We're pretty much facing each other, aren't we?
Oh, I've been down on the peninsula today. It's good, isn't it?
It is good. It's lovely.
Wow, we went to Ynys where the airport is.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to Trefor and did a bit of the coastal path there. It's so lovely to actually be in the mountains that we can see from here from Anglesey.
Yeah, it's nice just to have a bit of a change of view, isn't it? And before everything changes and everyone's allowed to come on Monday, it's trying to get some last minute solitude, isn't it, before we open doors.
We didn't see anybody, and we were on probably quite a busy part of the coastal path. There was no traffic in Caernarfon. It was just fantastic. we have to have a play date soon, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely do. Yeah, not loud for you.
Hey, I don't know how old you are, but we're probably under the same health service. Have you had your vaccine yet?
No, I'm not going to get mine. I don't think I'll get mine till next year at this rate.
Oh God, I want to go out and play with friends.
I know.
So, Dani, thank you so much for coming on this evening. Will you give us a little bit of background about who you are, please?
Yes, so I am the Dark Sky Officer for the Dark Skies Partnership in North Wales, which is known as Project Norse or the Night Project. You can find us on all social media platforms as Project Norse. And I work to reduce light pollution in the area. So I work for Snowdonia National Park, which is a dark sky reserve. So we are so fortunate in Snowdonia. We've got really dark skies, and in fact 99% of the national park's dark skies are in the top tier of darkness. So it's a really amazing place to come and stargaze. So I work for them, promoting the reserve and reducing light pollution where we can. And I also work for the AONBs, the Areas of Outstanding Natural Beauty. So I think you live in the AONB of Anglesey, potentially.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Trial the Bay, bizarrely, is one of the bits that isn't in the AONB, and that is crazy because it's one of the most beautiful parts of the island.
But I work for Anglesey AONB, and
she stopped. Have I? Oh, there you go. I'm just wondering, is it you who stopped? We're both dealing with Anglesey internet here, aren't we?
Yeah, it's probably me. We both live in caravan sites as well, don't we? So it's not got the most stable internet. So yes, I work across the AONBs, and we're working to get dark sky designations for the AONBs as well. So with the dark sky designations comes a layer of protection when it comes to the planning system. So we are able to monitor people's light, and any new build that goes up, they have to give us a lighting plan. So we make sure that any light that is installed is dark sky friendly. So that means that it's fully shielded, is pointing downwards, and is a warm temperature. So have you ever heard of Kelvin? Ooh. So we talk about Kelvin being the temperature of the light. It doesn't affect the use of the light at all, but it does make it look much more cozy and warm. So we ask for 2,700 Kelvin, which is really good for human health. It's not as impactful, but it's also really important for our biodiversity and our wildlife, because the bright lights and the high temperature Kelvins are really detrimental to wildlife. So that's a lot of the work I'm doing. We're actually about to launch a scheme on Anglesey. We've had £50,000 from Welsh Government, and that's to retrofit some lights around the AONB, so people will be able to apply to us and get their lights changed to dark sky friendly lights. So hopefully that will make a big dent in some of the light pollution on the island.
Oh, do you think I could? I don't know what the lights are here. They have got shielding, but they do create a fair old bit of light pollution. Do you know what I can't tell you what my boyfriend's done actually, but he's he's made it darker, let's say. It's great now.
We've got to do what we can, haven't we? Yeah,
we have, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, great stuff. So that is so important. Well, and what's it like working in this incredible region then?
I am very lucky. I have to pinch myself sometimes. You know, it is an absolute privilege to be able to work across the most beautiful areas in Wales. Snowdonia is one of the darkest places in Wales, and it's the biggest dark sky reserve in Wales. And I get to go to some really special places like Ynys, Bardsey Island.
Have you set foot on Bardsey?
I have. I got to go between the last two lockdowns, and it was clear the whole time I was there. And it's crazy because you can see so many stars that you can't actually pick out constellations anymore because there's so many, it's so dense. So it's really incredible to be able to see that. But you can see that from Aberdaron or Llŷn if you go to the end of the Llŷn Peninsula. So there are places on the mainland that you can experience that as well.
Oh, do you know what, Dani? It popped up on my Facebook memories, but this about 6 months ago in the summer, and it was just a freak, but 2 nights in a row, the summer Milky Way over Anglesey was so bright, it was casting enough shadows for me to read, and I could just see the dust lanes in it. And I remember crying both nights, and it was so good. It was just like some freakily clear evening.
Oh, it is. We do get some really, really beautiful skies, and I was lucky enough to grow up on Anglesey, and I didn't realise that not everybody gets to see a dark sky like that.
Oh, no.
And then I went to university in South Wales in Cardiff, and I didn't know what had happened, because for me it's always been a really like tranquil thing. I can go and just, if I'm feeling a bit stressed, I'll just go out and look at the stars, and it'll really calm me down and make me realize that, you know, my problems aren't actually that bad. You know, we're in the universe. I'm a tiny fragment of this whole big crazy picture. But But I went down to Cardiff and I just looked up and it was just this big yellow smog. You couldn't see.
I know, it's like the colour of my head. My headband is like light pollution, isn't it? So this bright orange light, I mean, I'm looking at it now. Is that getting replaced for better lights? Because I've noticed on the prom here in Triada Bay, we've got fantastically shielded LED lights that you can only see when you're pretty much underneath them. They're good, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. A lot of them of LEDs are unfortunately too bright, and some councils in the UK, they jumped the gun a little bit, and with light pollution, we're only just starting to understand how detrimental it is and how negative it is. So it's not a widely known science, but all this brilliant research is coming out now so that we can act on it. But sadly, the councils, they completely did the right thing. They were looking to reduce emissions and reduce costs, so they could save residents money and reduce their carbon footprints. But unfortunately, a lot of them installed really high-powered LEDs that were too high a Kelvin, so they're like 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin. Really bad for human health. It can cause things like poor mental health. It can cause things like hormonal issues like cancers and things like that. Because when you think about human beings and how we've evolved, as cavemen, up until 120 years ago, when the electric light was invented, we used natural daylight cues. When the sun came up, our brain knew it had to make certain chemicals to make us get on with our day. And then as the sun set, that tells our brain to go to sleep so we can relax and recover from our day. But we've completely messed with that now. We've just put lights absolutely everywhere, haven't we? So our brains just haven't been able to keep up with it.
I forgot it was only 120 years that electric light. I am basking in a massive studio light here. It's probably, my body probably thinks it's on the equator somewhere right now in midsummer.
Yeah, probably. I went and got one of those body clocks. They like mimic the sunrise, and I thought this is potentially just a gimmick, but it's changed my life. I absolutely love it. I can't sleep without it now, and it's basically like a dome, and it mimics a sunset, and I go to sleep so much quicker. I've had insomnia my whole life, but now, yeah, and that it literally, I go out like a light, and it wakes you up.
What is this? What is it? Is it like
it's called a Lumi alarm clock. I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Oh, Lumi. Yeah, I've got a Lumi light box. It's an absolute beast. It looks like some kind of multi-story building. Yeah, Lumi is the premium kind of sunshine mimicking light box, isn't it?
It was quite expensive when you consider it's an alarm clock. And I thought, it was £70, and I thought, oh my God, am I going to spend £70 on an alarm clock? That potentially isn't going to work. But it's so good. And I actually wake up now before my alarm because it mimics a sunrise as well. So it's such a nicer way to wake up. And because I'm getting that natural light, my brain is telling me, oh, it's daylight now. And especially, we've just come out of a dark, dull winter, and you know what it's like on Anglesey. It's not light until 8 o'clock. And trying to get up in the morning when it's so dark, your brain is like, what is happening? You've been jarred awake by this horrible alarm clock. But
by the jets.
I know. I'm not on commission for Lumi alarm clocks, but I definitely recommend them. I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's a nice tip. I might get my mummy one. Oh, she's a cynical thing, though. Why have you bought me this, Vicky? This could have been Chardonnay.
Maybe Chardonnay and the Lumi, and then she'll be happy.
So how can I'm really interested to know that light pollution science is in its formative years. How can we help?
Basically, if you are in an area with light pollution, and I know a lot of people suffer from badly placed street lighting, especially if it's outside a bedroom window. So it's really important to write to your MP and let them know, because I think dark skies is considered to be like a rural thing. So, your national parks and your areas of outstanding natural beauty. But light pollution is really, really important for people who are living in these urban areas. They're the people who are losing out the most. There's people in England who don't see any stars at night. So, that's a massive resource that they've lost, that gateway to space and the universe. They don't get to experience that, which is horrible. So these people need to write to their MPs. You need to write to your councillors and tell them that you want to have dark sky friendly lighting. It's better for resident health. It'll reduce rates of cancer. It'll improve people's mental health. It will help people connect with the night sky, which again has so many health benefits. And it will encourage people to learn about the world that they live in, the universe that we live in. And, you know, our culture and society, we move into such an individualized place where everything is about me, social media, likes, all that kind of thing. And I feel like it's almost in tangent with the more light pollution we get and the less we have this vision of this connection to the universe and that we're part of a bigger picture, the less able we are to see ourselves as part of that bigger picture. So yeah, definitely write to your MPs, write to your councillors. If you live in an area where you have a dark sky officer like me, you can get involved and I can help with lighting choices. But also I've been working with manufacturers to design more residential friendly, dark sky friendly lighting. So at the moment, it's quite tricky to come across the right light for your home. So you can't really go into B&Q and pick up dark sky lighting, but that is something we are working on together. And so that's something to look to in the future. If you are at home and you're looking at your lights and you're thinking, yeah, my lights are actually a bit excessive, the best thing you can do is get a light that is fully shielded and facing downwards. Only have the light on when you need it, so don't have it on all night. Motion sensors really help. That'll save you loads of money as well because you haven't got the light on needlessly at night. And make sure it's at a warm temperature because that's best for your health and for wildlife.
Oh, Dani, thank you so much for educating me. Right, I'm even more passionate about dark skies now, especially, well, I've got this broadcasting platform, so anything I can do to help. Now, thank you very much for coming on. I've got a couple of things for you now.
Okay.
Now, the real star of the show isn't me or you or Cosmo. What's your pooch? Where's your doggy? He was a pup last time I saw him.
I know. He's actually upstairs asleep. He's been to his doggy day today. So he's been running across the Cymyran beach today, which is in between and he's very tired.
Oh, Cymyran is so good. Do you know what I got the other day? It's really going to improve my life on Anglesey. Did you see my portable fire pit pictures?
Oh, I've got one of those as well.
Have you? How good is it? It's amazing.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get it out tomorrow night and get it down on the beach because it's going to be clear. It's a friend's birthday and I'm going to never lit a fire before. So
there's no moon. There's no moon.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to see more stars because obviously the moon is a natural light polluter, isn't it? So get to go out and nice and toasty with it.
So Mr. Numbers, who I don't recognise on here, so hello, Mr. Numbers, please come back next week, says urban area MPs won't know anything at all about this. So what can we tell them what they should do?
That's a really good question, Mr. Numbers. That's a very incognito name. But there's actually a Westminster Action Group, and there are some urban MPs on there already. It's called an APPG, so an all political party group, and it's the APPG for Dark Skies. If you Google that, it will come up. There's a number of MPs on there already, and they've developed, they consulted with a lot of us at the end of last year, and we all put into this consultation of policies that we think would help across the UK. So they have got a list of 10 policies for dark skies, and they're going to lobby the Westminster government to get these rolled out nationally. So I would recommend that you get that link and send it to your MP. Virginia Crosby, our MP, sits on that APPG. Vicky, I think I put another P in there. many Ps. So, you know, they will become more aware of it, and you can write to your MP. If you do want help writing to your MP about why it should be important, you can always email me and I will send you a draft letter that you can send to them to make them more aware.
I just think you've got one of the coolest jobs. How exciting is that?
It is the coolest job, and I'm not going to pretend that I have hard days because, yeah, you know, it is hard work sometimes and people don't always understand light pollution, but I get to go out and look at the stars all the time. So...
Yeah. Okay. So usually I do the running order of the show different, and regular viewers are going to be so thrown by this. They're not going to know what's happened. They're going to think they've landed in a parallel universe. Normally after the first guest, we've got Eleni who does our space news. But I thought what I'd like to do, because I like to connect people, I'm a connector, is introduce you to Mark Thompson, who's our second guest. Would you like to have a chat with Mark? He's another big... Mark. Yes, he's another big passionate advocate for dark skies. So, Mark, you're coming on in 3, 2, 1. Hey!
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mark.
Are you good?
Hi.
Are you well? Been fascinating to listen to you.
Isn't she brilliant? What it's so good. Yeah. So I thought, do you know what? I'll let you two just chat to each other for a couple of minutes, and
Well,
I'll just back off.
I just want to apologise that I'm not as professional as you two, and my lighting is not it's not as good. I just got a desk lamp, whereas you two have got the professional lighting setup. So I just look like a moon face at the moment.
We're generating our own light pollution. That's the problem. Although I've got my curtains open, so it's spilling outside probably and lighting up parts of South Norfolk.
See, get those curtains closed. Get some blackout blinds installed. Come on now.
Draw the curtain.
So no, I mean it's been fascinating listening to you, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the CPRE project where they did the star count at the end of it was February. I think they did the star count.
Yeah.
And the light pollution's gone down during lockdown, hasn't it?
It has.
And was it a 10% reduction since the count last year or something?
It was, and I worked with the CPRE this year, and Emma, Emma's so good. She's so knowledgeable, and they've been doing this citizen science project for a number of years now. So it's great to have that data to look at over the last few years. And we've obviously CPRE is a campaign for rural England, so they didn't really have any Welsh or Scottish or Irish inputs to the data, but this year we really pushed in Wales to get people to input their data. So I think, I don't want to brag, but the Welsh data really brought the light pollution levels down, because we do have some really dark areas. And
do you think that's what it is? Do you think it's the fact we've got your data now that it's made it look, the rest of us look good?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's part of it, and also I think a lot of businesses, like sadly, have had to be closed, and they've had to turn their lights off, which will of course have had an impact. And I do think it's helped, and I think that there was a really big surge in the interest in astronomy over March, April, May last year, because we had Comet Neowise come and visit, which was brilliant. It was the first naked eye comet that I've ever experienced in my life, so absolutely amazing. And I just remember this flurry to buy astronomical equipment. You couldn't buy astronomical equipment anywhere. So I think people really started to take it on board then, because we had that breathing space where perhaps people didn't need to get up for their commutes in the morning, and they could spend a little bit of time. Helped that we had really good weather, didn't it, for about 3 months when we couldn't go anywhere. But it was just, people got that chance to step outside and connect with nature again, which was really, really good for people.
And ultimately, there was nothing else to do, was there? No one could go anywhere. The roads were so much quieter, and car lights make a difference. To the amount of light spilling up that reflects off the ground and spills up into the into the atmosphere or the sky. So I think a combination of businesses were closed and probably trying to save a few pennies as well. So the sort of the typical nighttime advertising lighting wasn't being used. People weren't out and about as much. Adding on to that, your data, which has probably helped us all tremendously as well. And it's a good thing. I guess my real interest is to see what happens with the light pollution situation now and in this next year, because I'd love to think that people will have realised that actually up there, as we all know, is a wonderful view. And I hope that people, that everyone else who's perhaps not as switched in onto astronomy has realised that actually we don't need all those lights. We managed without, and actually it could be a good thing that we reduce light a little bit and save a few pennies in the process. And you get to see the wonderful dark skies as well, which is wonderful, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think to us in our caveman brains, light to us means safety because it was the campfire. But there's actually no statistical evidence that suggests that light stops crime. It doesn't. And in fact, it can actually promote crime because you're highlighting that you've got something valuable. And there's examples of, if you've got an empty house with all the lights off and you see somebody wandering around with a torch, that's going to raise suspicion. Whereas you see a house with all its lights on, you're not going to think twice about seeing people.
I'm ashamed to say as well, my parents, who won't be tuning into this because they've got no interest in astronomy whatsoever, they were walking to my brother's house, who used to live, this is years ago now, who used to live not too far from them, and they saw a bloke climbing in, we've got Vicky back now, climbing in through a window of a house, and he shouted over to them, "It's okay, I live here," and they carried on walking. And that was in broad daylight. So I think there's a general apathy among people generally, I think, and is like going to make any difference there? You're right. It's a perception, and it makes you feel safer. Does it actually make you safer? That's where we need a little bit more research, I think. Sorry, Vicky.
Yeah.
Shut up now.
No, keep going. It's good. It's nice to hear. It's nice to network you both. So so maybe you two can get in touch with each other and help fight the light.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And Vicky, I need volunteers as well, because part of my job is monitoring the light pollution on the ground. So I have a thing called an SQM reader. I actually have a few of them. But it's basically, it sounds very technical, but it's just a black box, and it tells me how much light pollution is present. So I drive around the island and all my other locations at night, and I take measurements. And we've got 6 years of data now for the national park for Snowdonia, and we've got 3 years of data for Anglesey and the AONB. So I can see where areas are getting darker, and I can see where areas are getting lighter. But NRW, which is Natural Resources Wales, they've just released this amazing light pollution map, and it's purely for Wales, and you can zoom in and you can play with all these different dials, and it tells you exactly how much light pollution is wherever you want to look at in Wales. And that's a great resource for us, because we can now take that into planning departments, and we can say, if you put this building here with that amount of light, it's going to have this much impact. So that's really interesting, and I'll share that with you. I know it's not very good for this, is it? I can't really show you right now, but it's really good that we've done that.
They are good devices. If I remember rightly, I think I had one a few years ago, lost it in the midst of time now, and probably about 4 house moves. But am I right in saying, so they detect the sky, the general sky brightness, don't they? And they kind of remove the perception, because the CPRE star count that was done in February, as I remember, was all about counting the stars in Orion, of the stars that you could see. And of course, your eyesight will have a big part to play in that. And so using something that gives a real scientific measurement, physical measurement, is more useful than people. I mean, it's great to get the trend, of course, from people's observations, but it gives a more realistic view of how things are changing, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And little things, when you're doing naked eye observations, it was a very cloudy February. It was cold, so I was in the wind looking up, and my eyes were streaming. So I was a bit blurry vision. So I was like, "Is that a star?" I'm not too sure if I'm counting the same star twice. But atmospheric changes can really affect naked eye viewings. But when I do the SQMs, it's got to be the same weather conditions. So I will only go out on a moonless night when it's completely cloudless. Sometimes those nights are few and far between, but you're right that having that scientific continuity really gives us solid data. Then, it's difficult to argue with.
Good work, everybody. Okay, well, there we go. So I will catch you soon, Dani. We need to go for a walk on the beach.
Yes, we do. Thanks. It's been really nice to talk to you, Vicky. Thank you. Happy International
It's been a pleasure.
Week, both of you.
And nice to talk to me as well, I hope.
I was just about
fine. I've got feelings,
Hang on a minute. It's International Dark Skies Week, and we've not mentioned it. Whoops. What does that mean?
I thought I might have to say that, but yeah, thanks so much, Mark, as well. And we'll
Lovely
connect.
to talk to you.
I've got you on Twitter anyway, so I'll have a search around. Thanks, Vicky. Thanks.
Catch you soon. Bye. Bye. Hey, Mark. So where are you this evening then, for those who don't know where you are?
I'm in, I'd like to say sunny South Norfolk, but I'm a bit envious of all your talk of dark skies and clear, or rather clear skies. It's dark enough because I'm in a fairly rural location, but it's been miserable. These last couple of days have just been horrible, cloudy, murky, blur kind of days. So I've got no joy of doing any stargazing tonight, I'm afraid.
If it was a lovely clear night, what would you be out there doing now? What would be the first thing that you did with your scope?
Well, I'm an imager, I'm afraid. So
okay.
I spend the first sort of hour messing around with cameras, cooling them down, taking dark frames, flat frame, bias frames, all sorts of other things. But the first thing I'm doing is taking a picture of absolutely nothing, so that I can calibrate the images. And before I even think about actually taking any proper pictures. But I like imaging nebulae, galaxies, that kind of stuff. So that's my sort of go-to for a nice moonless night. And also if it's cloud free, that's a bonus as well, of course. Grumble.
What would be a good image to a good target to image at this time of year now? What's happening in the sky?
It depends massively, hugely on what camera and what telescope you've got, because CCD chips come in a huge range of sizes, dimensions, and also pixel size, and you have to kind of couple that up with the focal length of the telescope to work out what your field of view is going to be and what your resolution is going to be. So there's no kind of one size fits all, unfortunately. But probably the best thing to do is try and capture the winter constellations before they go. And I know you're talking about Orion later on, aren't you? And there's loads of wonderful regions of nebulosity around Orion. Some of them quite big for a lot of long focal length telescopes, but certainly I think keep over towards the west, where all the winter constellations are disappearing fast, because there's a lot of good things to be found down there.
Oh, good work, good work. So what kind of equipment have you got then? Just give us a quick talk through.
I have got, well, I'm a bit of a geek. So I've got an observatory which is about 5 miles away from me. It's a runoff roof observatory, and it's got there's 2 scopes in there. There's a wide field refractor, and then there's an old-fashioned Meade LX200 optical tube, which is an 8-inch f10, but I've got a focal reducer on it. It takes down f6.3. And I kind of flip between the two depending on what I'm doing. But the beauty of it is it's all internet based, so I can just decide, look out the window, say, looks clear, fire up the laptop, and I can open it up and I can take pictures and close it all down without even setting foot outside the door. But what it does mean is I get to miss those wonderful dark, clear, starry skies that you get by going outside to look through a telescope. And I do sometimes, well, quite a lot, I do still pop outside with a telescope I've got a Dobsonian as well, just to look at the sky, because that's the bit that I'm sure for a lot of people is the real magical part.
Oh, lovely. Okay, wow, there you go. So I'm sure you're tooled up to the eyeballs, literally, with your gear. Hey, how's your podcast going? Are you still doing it?
Well, we've finished series 1, so we did the Pocket Astronomer. Finished just before Christmas, actually. Series 1. We're looking at getting series 2. Probably at the moment, probably going to start again in September, in the new winter season. And you know what? It went really, really well. And we actually record it outside as well. So you have to wait for a clear sky. It's really done outside rather than in a studio. Parts of it are in a studio, but we do actually wait for a clear sky and end up talking down the line to the producer, and then get outside and actually talk under a clear sky, which is wonderful. And the gist of it, if people haven't listened, is that it guides you around the sky almost as though you've got an astronomer in your pocket, as it's called, Pocket Astronomer. And it's the good old measurements of using a clenched fist at arm's length, which is 10 degrees on the sky, and I use that starting from a really bright object in the sky and just guide people around the sky, and it's going down really well. I'm loving doing it. And I've even got Lorraine Kelly, of all people, getting involved in it as well, which is brilliant. She loves space, which is fun to work with.
Oh, wow. That's really good. So, yeah, I've listened a few times, and it is just so nice to have your voice coming out of a phone and whizzing you around the sky, especially over lockdown.
Yeah, and it kind of came off the back of the Twitter-based stargazing sessions that I did, trying to find something to do of an evening. And using Twitter is okay, but it's not brilliant because you've got people looking at a really bright thing in a phone in your hand, and that's really difficult to maintain dark adaptation. I know you can turn filters on your phone and all sorts of color casts, but an audio guide is the best way of allowing people to maintain dark adaptation and still look at the sky and still receive instructions as well. And it seems to go really, really, really well.
Oh, and do you edit it, or do you have somebody do that for you?
No. Oh no! The one thing I've tried to shoot a few videos myself. And I do still occasionally do that, and I've tried to do a bit of audio work myself, editing myself, but it's hard work.
It's hard. It's difficult, especially audio, because it's so abstract.
Yeah, and I'd sent stuff over to the producers before that sounded fine to me, and they listened and said, I can't use it, it's terrible, and I just can't hear what they can hear. So if podcasts, audio engineers, sound engineers, camera crews, edit. I respect them so much, because it's one heck of a skill to get something looking good and sounding good is really difficult.
It absolutely is. Good job. We both nail it tonight.
I've already had one light failure.
Oh yeah, it is hard to heck. Oh no. So Mark, right, I've noticed that this is a segue, bear with me. Over the past couple of months when I've been doing this show, I've noticed that I'm getting a really like constricted throat, and I have to do all sorts of vocal acrobatics before I do this hour. And as I'm coming to the end of this hour, it's starting to hurt. Now, Mark, this is something that when this happens to me after 1 hour, I just go cold at the thought of what you're doing. What are you doing? Tell the class.
No, this all came about 7 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago. I did a 24-hour lecture for Marie Curie, and it was 24 45-minute, not back to back, so I had 15 minutes between each one. Lectures, and I did that over at the Royal Institution in London and raised loads of money, and it went really, really well. But at the end of it, my voice, like as you say, it felt awful, and I could feel it getting worse and worse throughout the session. Now, at the time, I wondered what the Guinness World Record was for the longest lecture. I learned that it was 139 hours, 42 minutes, and 56 seconds. And at the time, I thought, I cut the expletives out. I thought, not a chance. And so I kind of left it at that point. Now, I was talking to the organisers of the Norwich Science Festival a couple of years ago now, and they talked me into having a go at beating the current Guinness World Record. So I committed with them. Yeah, I committed with them.
They persuaded you to do it. This wasn't your own idea.
Well, it's been one of those things that's been niggling away at the back of my mind ever since I did that 24-hour lecture. And I've been thinking, I have good days. I had good days and bad days. And I thought, I want to have a go at it. And then I have days where I think, nah, not a chance. But when I realised that they were all up for it, I thought, maybe I will give it a go. And so I've somehow found myself committing to having an attempt at breaking the Guinness World Record of talking or giving a lecture for 100. I'm aiming for 140 hours. It sounds insane, doesn't it?
How is that, like 5 days or something?
Yes, over 5.5 days. So what I'm allowed, the rules of the record allow me to have 5-minute breaks every hour, or I can batch those 5 minutes up and have longer breaks a bit later on. So what I'll be doing is talking for 2 hours, having a 5-minute break, talking for 2 hours, having a 5-minute break, and eventually I'll build up enough time banked up to allow me to have a 90-minute sleep. And through the whole event, I'm aiming to get at least, no more than 4.5 hours sleep over the full 5.5 days, which is quite a long while, isn't it?
What's the longest I've stayed up for 3 days, and that was hard.
But I think the interesting bit that you've picked on, I think one of the reasons we've kept it down to 3 sleep breaks is because there's this thing called sleep inertia. And sleep inertia is something that, we all feel it when you wake up in the mornings, you're kind of groggy and you can't get yourself going again. If I have too many sleep experiences during the event, then I'm going to feel sleep inertia more. And so I'm trying to restrict that as much as possible. So I have 3 sleep breaks to give me the best chance. But I think the adrenaline will see me through. The one thing I'm more worried about is my voice. And I think, that's the bit that I'm more nervous as with that. Will that hold up for 140 hours?
What are you doing, Mark? I need some tips, because the warm-ups I'm doing are kind of just not really helping very much.
Have you tried straw breathing or straw singing?
Is that where you get a vocal tube? I've seen them advertised. I don't know what they do.
You just need a straw, and all you do is you seal a straw in your mouth. So you purse your lips around a straw, and you just kind of sing up and down the scales. And what it does is it produces positive pressure in your mouth, which forces your vocal cords apart again, and keeps them fresh and keeps them working. And if you do that, when I did my last 24-hour lecture as a warm-up, where I spoke for, I think I did an hour and a half and had 5-minute breaks last year for the Norwich Science Festival as a warm-up to the real record attempt. My voice felt absolutely fine at the end of talking for pretty much 24 hours. So get yourself a straw, go up and down the scales with it, sing up and down the scales through the straw, and you'll feel the croakiness from your voice disappear after just a few attempts, and that makes a massive difference. So I'll be doing that a lot, I think, during the 140 hours.
Hello, my name's Mark Thompson. Oh my gosh! Right, okay. Now I think you're going to need a fleet of people to help you out here. How can we get involved? What kind of roles are you looking for?
Yeah,
Oh, it's for Barnardos. It's for Barnardos, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm doing it to raise money for Barnardos. If you head over to my website, which is markthompsonastronomy.com/GWR, it's really easy to remember, or just find my website, there's a big old link to it. You can donate money there, and it'd be brilliant. I think I've raised about £3,500, nearly £4,000 so far,
Done.
which is brilliant. And charities have been really hit over the last year, year and a half or so, I guess, of lockdown, because people can't get out and fundraise, and Barnardos have lost out massively on their usual levels of income, and they do a lot of good work for underprivileged kids across the UK, so their work is really important. But I do need an army of volunteers, so I'm looking for people who can actually get over to Norwich where the event will take place, where I'll need stewards for the whole 140 hours. You don't have to be there for whole 140 hours. There'll be a shift system, so people can come and go. I need witnesses who will document the event so that it's properly captured for Guinness World Record. I need social media people who can post on behalf of the attempt. There's loads of things, but basically, if you're interested, then we've got a Twitter account, GWR Lecture. If you find that, or find me, astronomer_Mark, and get in touch, and we can talk to you about the roles that are available and help you out with hopefully choosing something you can help with, because we do need a lot of people. I need to stay up 140 hours. People involved don't. That's not something that people need to do. And the audience as well. I've got to have audience members throughout the entire event. If the audience, the real audience at the theatre, it's actually at the University of East Anglia in Norfolk, if there's no audience members at any point, then the attempt has failed. So I've got to have audience members as well.
You better make it interesting. What are you talking about?
If I get 139 hours in and someone walks out, that's it. So we're going to lock people in until I finish, I think. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of things for people to do. Even just coming along and watching, people will be helping the event. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh! Now, is it going to be PowerPoint? Are you going to kill them all with PowerPoint? Death by PowerPoint? Well,
I am. It's going to be. I'm an Apple Mac person, so it'll be death by keynotes. But do you know what? I like to think I'm fairly adept at creating slides that won't kill people. They're not going to make people think, oh, you have to illustrate stuff. So the audience members can only be there for 4 hours at a time before they have to leave and come back in a bit later anyway. So they're not going to be there for a long while. But it's going to be, I've created this thing called the Ultimate Space Lecture, and it covers everything. It covers space exploration, all the planets, the moons, the outer planets, not individually, but all about those. Search for ET, black holes, evolution, the whole lot is all in there. And I'm not sure if I've got a section on light pollution. So I might have been inspired by the earlier section and actually put a bit in about light pollution as well, I think.
Mark, Jeff is saying it's an incredible chat. He doesn't need to be told that. Best of luck. Now, when is it?
It starts, get this, on the 11th of September at 12 noon at the University of East Anglia in Norfolk. And then, if successful, it will finish on the 17th of September at 7. I think I break the record at 7:43 in the morning or thereabouts. I think that's it's early hours on the 17th of September. But it seems like when you realise it starts on the Saturday and finishes the following Friday, it seems a lot longer, doesn't it?
I am shocked, Mark. Do you know what? Yeah. I'm part of a Guinness World Record. Do you know what I had to do?
What's that?
Yeah, you going for 5 days without food, drink, water, or sleep.
Oh no, I'm going to be eating and drinking.
Oh, that's all right then.
My other concern, Vicky, is about toilet situations. So I can obviously use the loo during my 5-minute breaks.
Right.
But what if I get out of sync?
Do it in the sink.
Well, I'm still mulling it over. But you can get adult nappies, can't you? Do I wear one of those? I don't know. That's something. Just stay tuned, and I'll explore that, and I'll let you know.
You could have an operation.
I could have a catheter. That might be the easiest thing to do. Sorry, you were saying you're part of the Guinness World Record.
I was in Vancouver, beautiful, beautiful space age city, and I was in the science centre there. And you know what? All I had to do was stand there on stage and be enveloped in this big whoosh of the world's biggest bubble with the most people inside it. And that's all I had to do was look pretty in a bubble. It was great. And I'm in the book.
I think you picked the right one, didn't you?
Yeah. But I'm not going to go down in history. Like, you know, I think this is going to elevate you. Hopefully, Mark, this is really going to do you the world of good. Everyone's going to be talking about it, aren't they?
Well, do you know, the other aspect to it, just if I can quickly get in, we're also creating an educational package so that school kids can, so I'm going to be hooked up to lots of medical devices. So my brain waves, I'm going to have an EEG machine. So my brain
on top
waves
of that,
on
you're going to be
internet.
you're going to have a colander on your head.
I'm going to have blood pressure, temperature, pulses, all going to be on the internet. So there's going to be an educational package for school kids to get involved. And there's a group of scientists at the University of Cambridge who are going to be doing some research on extreme sleep deprivation to try and learn a little bit about how humans are affected by extreme sleep deprivation. So there's going to be some science out of it, and there's going to be a lot of science outreach as well. So it's not just a lecture. There's a lot of other aspects to it as well. And I'm really looking forward to it. A bit nervous, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh my God, right. I'm going to go out and buy some drinking straws. Mark, thank you so much. I'm just going to pop Sonia on. Sonia is our new, she got involved with the SBA a couple of weeks ago, and she was terrified of being on camera. And now she's our regular weather presenter. And so here is Sonia. Say hello to Mark, Sonia.
Hi, Mark.
Sonia.
Hi, Vicky. How are you both?
Where's my good weather, Sonia?
Oh, it's coming this weekend.
Nice.
I've just been looking. You're going to get a bit of rain tonight, I'm afraid.
We've already got some. We had a bit of snow a couple of days ago as well.
Yes, I think me and Vicky is going to get the best of the weather tonight.
I wonder why.
We rigged it. So, Sonia, you wanted to say hello to Mark. Did you have any questions for him?
The one thing that, because when we did, was it the 24-hour stay awake that we did for Barnardo?
That's right. Yeah. So
and I struggled with that. I think I was baking the whole night to stay awake. Like I did lemon drizzle cake and brownies. I did all sorts that night to stay awake.
And I got none of them.
And I really struggled with that.
Yeah.
How are you gonna keep your energy levels up? You're gonna have like some special, like, I know you can get like special liquids in a bottle, can't you, like to take now and again to keep your strength up and stuff. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of energy drinks you can get, but they are the worst thing. All they do, I mean, people talk about the caffeine crash, and if you drink coffee or those little energy drinks, then what they do, I've learned a lot about sleep as a result of this, and all those drinks do is they act like a dam, and the chemicals that are trying to make you go to sleep just build up, and then when you stop, you crash. And so that is the worst thing to try and do, certainly for a long period of time. So I'm going to have lots of natural foods that give me energy rather than try and stop the sleep.
So it's a zero coffee presentation, Mark.
Well, I'm not saying there's zero coffee. There might be some coffee involved, especially after I've woken up and I'm just feeling really rubbish after having just been asleep for like 90 minutes, if I can get asleep. So there'll probably be some coffee there, but not a lot of it.
Wow.
Do you know what I use quite a lot of, Mark, is binaural beats on my phone, headphones that do your brainwaves. So if you're having a kip, get the headphones on and zone out with the sleep waves on.
I don't think there's going to be any concern with that at all.
I work in urology in Stone as well, so I'll provide you with some catheters, Mark.
Perfect. Are they fit themselves? I don't know. I've never done one myself.
You can repurpose your vocal straws, Mark.
Oh, just don't get them mixed up. That'll taste a bit...
I'm actually, as I thought it was in London, and Norwich isn't that too far from Manchester, so I might maybe come along for like
miles away.
4 hours to wait. It's not that far.
No, not
so maybe
at all.
I'll like come for 4 hours. I can stop off at my mum's in Sheffield on the way all the way back. There you go.
Forgive me if I don't stop and say hello, won't you?
Of course. And then hopefully this social media thing as well, be really interesting, get involved. Is that what you tweeted about as well?
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we'll certainly be in touch with you on that, Sonia.
Definitely.
Mark, it's been such a pleasure, and we're going to be behind you, and we'll give you we'll cheer you on, everybody here at the SPA, and good luck. When is it? September, April, May, June, July. About 5 months away.
September. I know, 150 hours away, and I've got 20% of the way through the content. So the marathon is actually preparing the damn thing, not performing. I think that's the hardest bit.
You're doing really well is the raising the money, because you're halfway over raising the money at the moment. So that's going pretty well for them.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, good luck, Mark. We're going to follow your endeavours. Oh,
thank you.
God, I was about to someone's put quite a rude comment there about a commode. Don't...
Well, do you know what? I have thought if I just stick a blue portalo on the side of the stage, I could just keep talking while I'm going. And that could work.
You get male Urano bottles. I'll get you male Urano bottles. I could get all sorts at work.
Oh,
Sonia. We'll talk about that as well.
The other day I went to the loo with my headphones on when I had a client on them, and it's easy to do, isn't it?
You're never alone with a microphone, Vicky. That's what we say.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I've not reached those upper echelons yet of needing a TV microphone, but hopefully one day soon.
Don't trust anything.
Oh, Mark, everybody's wishing you good luck here. It's an amazing thing you're doing. So we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys. Have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. What do you think, Sonia?
Oh, that's just madness. Because I did the 24 star weight to raise with money with Barnardo with Rachel and some of it, and I really struggled with it. I was just baking I was drinking my Coke Zero, and then because I think it was like from 8 o'clock Friday to 8 o'clock Friday evening to 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and then because I was like overtired, I could then not sleep, so I was awake then all Saturday until Saturday night when I crashed, and I slept through the whole night.
Oh, wow. I hope Mark's got some good recovery lined up after this and not going straight to work on Monday morning.
He probably sleep the whole week afterwards.
I've been to Glastonbury and stayed up for a couple of nights, and I tell you need a long time to recover. So the recovery is just going to be as much as... Oh, so what's Rachel said? We did well. I stayed up for 39 hours in the end, Sonia.
Yeah.
And what a good cause, Mark. I can just see him in the green room down there. I Googled about Barnardo's. I didn't actually know all that much about the charity, but they raise money for some incredibly disadvantaged kids. Their description on their website brought a tear to my eye. What a valiant cause. Go Barnardo's, go Mark.
It is. I think it was like £500 we ended up raising because it was all in aid of Barnardo's as well, what we did.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. Right, I'm just going to have a look out my window, Sonia. This is important. I'm going to give you a star status. I want to see if I can spot Orion going into the horizon.
Bye, Orion.
Bye, Orion. Oh, I can see Sirius twinkling. Yeah, it's just going, I think. I think it was Sirius.
I think at 11 o'clock. I think around about 11 o'clock, and it's going to be going down in the west.
So you contacted me and we were chatting this week, like, what can the presentation be on? And I was like, well, we can wave goodbye to Orion.
And then that was like, and then when Mark and that other lady was talking about the CPR, I'm like, no, my slide, I'm going to have nothing to talk about.
Oh, they nearly stole your thunder. Right, let me get your presentation
on. Like the mug.
Oh, have you got a mug? Let's have a look. Hang on. Oh, it's a nice one. Let's get the full screen.
It's lovely, that one. I really do like that one. There we go. It's really nice.
Oh, let me get your full screen. There we go. This is available from the SPA shop. This is our SPA banner that we have, and it's absolutely beautiful bit of artwork with the dog there, and that's cool. It's better than my mug. Oh, it's lovely. What's your favourite drink in that, Sonia?
Oh, I've got a Coke Zero in there. I don't do tea or coffee, and I can't really be bothered to warm up some milk on the hob to put hot chocolate in.
Right, let's try and get your screen share going. It's like firing up a stubborn old vehicle trying to get this blooming screen share going. Right, okay. Other people can do this so easily. Right, Chrome, presentation, share. And then I think I just need to go to view. Is this you? Yeah, this is you.
That's me.
View. Present.
Oh, there we go. So farewell, Orion. But we have got Leo the lion and Hydra. Is that a snake? Hydra the snake.
Oh, hang on. What's happening here? Right. Hydra, monster thing. I don't know what Hydra. What is Hydra? Popular astronomers help. It's a thing.
I'm sure it's a snake because I think the top part is the headed snake. I think it is. I might be wrong. I don't know. Comments below what Hydra is.
Yes, please do. So just say next slide, Sonia. I know you love your little next slide.
Oh, I do. Next slide, please, Vicky.
There we go. Yeah. Go on, off you go.
So just a bit about Orion before we start. So we know it's got 7 prominent stars. So it's got the 2 at the top, which is shoulders, 2 at the bottom, its knees, and the 3, which is the belt. And you've got Orion's nebula, which is apparently its bits Q adult content. So it's located in the celestial equator and visible throughout the world. It is now going down towards Australia in the sunny side of the beach. Lucky Orion. And it's one of our favourite constellations because it's one of those that we can pinpoint out and we can see straight away because of how it looks. And it's named after Orion the Hunter, Greek mythology. It's got brighter stars as we go. Is it Rigel? Rigel, and it's got Betelgeuse at the top as well. And then going back towards the light pollution, so we did the star count of how many stars you can see in Orion in February, and it was over 7,000 people participated. Now next year would be absolutely great if more people could participate, because as Mark was saying, it'd be good to see after lockdown ends of how much it has changed over the year. As I think it was a 10% drop, it went from 51%. Hang on, what was it? 61%. Yeah, so 61%, and this year was 51%. So it has been a 10% decrease of light pollution. As you can see the map over on the slide, so Manchester, Leeds, Nottingham, Birmingham, so the main major cities have got the main light pollution. There is that little red dot though on Anglesey, which I think that's what's causing your light pollution, if you can see that, Vicky. I was thinking, I saw that, I was like, that's that little light thing going on. You should petition about that, Vicky.
I think
this is a little red dot there. I'm thinking that's definitely Vicky, that one. Yes. So it'd be interesting to see next year, if they do this again, what that map outcome will be, because I'm about 50-50 if it will change, or maybe it'll stay the same. People might have got into that habit now, and it might be the same next year. It'd be interesting of how it is. So next slide, please.
There we go.
And then we have the spring constellation. So we've got the main ones of Boots with Arcturus. We've got Virgo, the Virgo cluster, the M87. We've got Spica. We've got Leo with Regulus. We've got Hydra. We've got so much still going on in the spring constellations. So just a bit about how we got into spring. So the Earth orbits the Sun. I was hoping to have an orange for the Sun, but I don't have an orange. So the Earth tilts on its axis. Actually, shall we try it this way? So the Earth's on its axis, like that. There we go. And it's like this at the moment. So it's like straight. So the Sun's like now on here. So this is why we get spring. There's there we go, snake, three-headed snake. There we go. The Hydra. And then this is spring, so it's like the Earth is like straight, and then we get like the sunlight, so it's not hot, it's not warm, and then as the Sun goes round on its axis, it sort of then tilts. Not trying to spill out my Coke. And so the northern hemisphere is then pointing towards the Sun, and that's why we get the summer, because of how the tilt is of the Earth. And then as we go around back to autumn, it's much like spring, where it stays like that with how the Sun goes on to Earth. And then as we go into winter, it goes round again, and then the tilt of the Earth then goes away from the Sun. So then the northern hemisphere is then pointing away from the Sun, and so we don't get as much heat and warmth from it, which causes our winter skies. And so at the moment we are like this, heading towards that way for the summer, and that's how we much more or less get the seasons: spring, summer, autumn and winter, with the warmth of the sunshine on the Earth.
Sonia, you should definitely be a teacher, Sonia. You just explain everything in such an easy, fun, exciting way. It's
I know.
lovely.
I was like looking at it, I don't have I was like hoping to have an orange and some form of Earth. I thought I'd just do that. There we go.
No expense spared with our visual effects from the SPA. At least you used an SPA mug in your defence.
I know. There we go. Plug in the mug. One thing that is really good, my hubby knows, when it comes to Valentine's or Christmas, just get me anything that's stargazing and spacey. So this is really good this year.
Oh, it's lovely.
2021 stargazing, and it goes month by month. So where are we for April? March. Now we've gone into there. So we've got April, and it'll tell you the north sky, the south sky of what's going on at the moment. And then it will tell you all the April's objects, what's best to see in the sky, and then it will give you a calendar. There we go, a little calendar and all the stuff what's going on in April, and I find that really good to know what to look for in the night sky and the best objects. Don't know if that's blurred or you can
It's
see
blurred.
that.
It's blurred to blinking neck. So, how's your
really good.
It's a lovely book, right? Okay. Oh, I'm jumping through to the next slide. There, are we all right
next
with this
slide?
There we go.
So as I say, we've got the constellations now in the night sky, late March to late June in Northern Hemisphere, and in September to late December in the Southern Hemisphere. So the Southern Hemisphere have now started to get what we've had now in our winter sky. So that's where Orion's going, down into the Southern Hemisphere. So spring, we've got Ursa Major, we've got Boots, we've got Leo, we've got Cancer, we've got Virgo, and we've got Hydra the Snake. So looking south, I found this little article which helps us to try and locate. So Leo, the most prominent constellation in spring, look for the stars in Leo's head to look like a backwards question mark. Imagine Leo's looking to the right, and then the triangle makes Leo's tail and hind, whatever that word was. I don't know why that's disappeared. And then the brightest star, which would be the star at the bottom of the question mark, is called Regulus. And then Leo is looking at Cancer the Crab, and there is no significantly bright star in Cancer. So that's how you find Leo and Regulus. To find Boots and Virgo, remember the saying arc to Arcturus and speed onto Speaker. This saying starts with the arc of the Big Dipper's handle, look to the overhead or zenith, which would be directly above you for those 7 bright stars in the constellation Ursa Major to make the spoon, and that's or what I call as the trolley with the handle. And then join them. What's that? Sorry, Vicky.
I'm just laughing.
Join imaginary curved arch line between the 3 stars and the handle of the Big Dipper. Then continue that curved line into the sky and arc to Arcturus. And then Arcturus is an orange-coloured star in the constellation Boots. It is also the 3rd brightest star in the night sky, and Boots looks like a kite or ice cream cone in the sky. I've never heard of ice cream cone before. And then continue to
booties. We're getting.
Oh, is it booties? I'm reading it as boots. I've always called it boots. I just said boots.
Booties, I think. It's got like a diphthong, or not diphthong, an umlaut, hasn't it? Boo. I call it booties, just to.
And then continue the curve line.
This is the great thing, Sonia, though. This is the lovely thing about the SPA, although we're not all learned astronomers like some of the astronomical societies. We welcome every level, so mistakes can be forgiven, but they will be corrected if Paul Sutherland spots it.
Okay. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
And then continue the curved line from Arcturus to reach the bright star Speaker in the constellation Virgo. So they're the main constellations, and then you've got your Virgo cluster as well that you can have a look at. And then a good guide that I found that I'm just putting at the bottom of the screen, I don't know if you can see that on there, constellation-guide.com, and that will tell you how to find all the constellations in the spring sky and all what can be found. And it is quite a good website to look at as well. And that's where I found that from, which is really interesting.
Oh, my word.
So going on to the weather. So Mark has got that cloud and that rain in Norwich, whilst we've got the lovely clear skies here in central areas, Wales. Rain in southern England at the moment, and some snow up in Scotland. Those that get the clear skies tonight, though, it is going to get extremely cold. It is going to go down to -2, -3 degrees. The dew point extremely cold at -6, -7 degrees. So do take care of those telescopes if you are heading out of the dew points. The scene now, because the 30,000-foot winds are 90 to 100 miles an hour, it is going to get some shimmering in that. So the index at the moment is looking 1 or 2 of that. The transparency in Pickering, not looking too bad, between 8 and 7 for tonight. And then we go on to tomorrow night. It's not looking too bad tomorrow night. It seems Wales, yes. Southwest, you get to Cornwall. Northern England, going down central areas, down by the Pennines, we can get the snow and the rain. East of England, looking like that cloud. So you're on it again, Vicky, tomorrow night as well. You're getting all the good skies.
Yeah, we
The
are. Yeah, big
southwest
time.
getting London. Yeah, the southwest getting those dark skies, the clear. Not too bad. Again, we still have that cold air mass over, so it is going to be still a cold night tomorrow night. -2, -3. The dew point not too bad though. -2, -5 tomorrow night. The index looking slightly better at 8, between 5 and 8. The transparency 7 and Pickering about 5. So it is going to vary. Then we're going on to Monday. It does look a bit cloudy on Monday. It doesn't look too good on Monday. Scotland is definitely going to get the rain and snow again coming from the west. Monday night, it's kind of variant whether you get cloud or rain. So I shall keep an eye on that. You can never tell because it will probably change when we get to Monday night. And then looking at the jet stream, it is still over us. However, when we go to the 13Z charts for 1 o'clock on the 11th, going towards Sunday, Monday, it does look like it's dipping south of us, which will bring us a bit more cold weather, I'm afraid.
More cold weather. I thought, what?
More cold weather. I know.
Sonia, I tell you, ever since you've started doing the weather, right, and that jet stream has just come and parked itself over us.
I know.
And we've had the worst weather ever since you've started doing it.
Oh, thanks, Vicky.
So Sonia, I can't remember what night it was. It might have been Tuesday night. Me and Sonia and Liam Kennedy from ISS Above, a guest that we've had on a few times. We did something called Pop Up Astro Live, which if you scroll back through the popular astronomy videos on the Facebook feed, you will get to see a very in-depth description of all of the different data sources that Sonia uses to do the weather. It's in depth. You don't just cut and paste this off.
I don't. I literally sit here.
This is handmade for you, weather astronomers. Sonia's weather is a labour of love for you.
It is. It really is. I'll go into, if I know it's going to be a clear night, so I'll try and get it done early to send over for everyone to see. So I will go into work. I don't start work till 9, and I'll be in work for like 8:10 to try and get the forecast done for everybody before I start work.
Yes. So thank you, Sonia. You are a great example of somebody who's got involved with the SPA and just picked up the ball and ran with it. You've done an amazing job. You're one of the absolute highlights of my week, Sonia. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Just another book. My mum has a corner shop and they sell books, and she managed to get this for 50p.
Woo! Who wrote that? Whose book are you selling off? Who's the author of that?
That's the Storm Dunlop. So that's the Phillips Practical Astronomy.
Yeah.
And she got it for 50p for me, and it should be £8, £8.99. She got it for 50p for charity at the corner shop.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Definitely another book to invest in people.
Yeah, lovely. Well, thanks. We'll do some book reviews next time we're on, Sonia, if you want. Right. Okay. Have a beautiful weekend, Sonia, and thank you for your passion. All right.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I do love chatting with Sonia. New friend. Great. Okay. This has been Pop Astro Live. We're going to go over to Eleni in a minute. Now, if you remember, last week we had Space Pet of the Week, and our Space Pet of the Week was my friend's dog in Australia called Astro. And I love the fact that astronomers have got pets with cosmic names. And Sandra Grace, I don't think I've seen you. Sandra, are you on this evening? Because you've sent me pictures of your cats, and we're going to go and have a quick look at your Luna and Nova the Puddy Tats. Let me just do a share screen. Please send us images of your cats. Direct message me the cats. Let's have a look. Is this going to come up? This is Luna and Nova. I don't know which is which, but there we go. Great cosmic name. So this is Space Pet of the Week. Diddly dee, meow, meow. Send us your Space Pets of the Week. Their names will be up in pixels on the Pop Astro video. How cool is that? There we go. Right. We're going to go to Eleni now. Last week, she presented the news standing on her head. And this week, she's presenting the news standing out on her roof. Eleni, get down from up there.
Hi everyone. I wish I had a roof to go to, but I don't.
How are you, Eleni, after your little stint on your head? How was it on your head last week?
It was interesting because I felt really like I've never even smoked anything in my life, so I don't know exactly how it feels to be high, but I felt a little bit high afterwards. Like I was like, this euphoric kind of feeling. It was nice. Don't get me wrong. But I noticed I think it was a couple of hours later, because I was like that kind of, that here and here I had like little dots, like little bruise-like dots, and I was like, okay. Maybe I'll have to wait until I present on my head again. Give it a month or so.
Yeah, be careful with that. What do you think about Mark Thompson's 5-hour lecture, Eleni?
He's a hero for even trying it. I'm teaching at schools, and sometimes I teach 5 hours, and of course I have a lunch break and the break that you have in between, and I hate it, like talking so much. Like at the end of the day, my throat is like, okay, you had enough. So I really have no idea how he's going to push through, but he's dedicated, and it's for a good cause. And usually, you know, if you have these 2 ingredients, you can push through, I think. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for him.
Good luck, Mark. It's a really random record to break. Have you ever broke a record, Eleni?
No,
I was in a giant bubble. That was so easy. I was in a big, beautiful, giant bubble. It was lovely, yeah, and didn't require talking for 5 days. Oh my God, 5 days, Eleni.
Much easier than talking for 5 days.
Well, you're going to talk for 5 minutes now or thereabouts. Should we go to your presentation?
Yes.
What have you got? So, what have you got for us?
Big as well.
I'm going to go now. The stage is yours.
Okay. Can everybody see what I'm seeing?
I think you need to go full screen.
Let's see. It's doing something, so hopefully, is that full screen now for everyone?
Spot on, baby. Go for it.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got a couple of interesting things. Unfortunately, around quasars, both of my pieces of news, because I really like quasars and I couldn't resist. So here we go. So the first one comes under the very fancy title seeing quadruple, like when you're drunk and you see things like multiple times, kind of the same thing, but on an astronomical scale. So this particular thing, it's twofold. It's about highlighting the role of machine learning for astronomy, and also all the things we can learn by actually looking at lensed objects. So let's start from the beginning. I'll just remind people that quasars are the very, very bright cores of faraway galaxies. So when we say distant galaxies, we are also talking about early universe. So these cores are powered by supermassive black holes. And these quadruple images, they happen when you have a really big galaxy, a massive galaxy that is in front of the quasar, and the gravity of the galaxy works as a lens essentially, and it splits the image into 4 images. So I don't know if my mouse pointer is obvious here. Hopefully it is. But here you would have the lens, for example, and these 4 images, these 4 dots here, they would be the lensed galaxy, the lensed quasar behind the lens. Now, traditionally, with traditional astronomy techniques, astronomers for the last 4 decades have discovered about 50 of these quads, as they call them, like a short version. And now, within 1.5 years, using machine learning techniques, astronomers discovered 12 lensed quasars. And this is really important in astronomy, because we need to kind of highlight how we're moving away from one person doing the job, but now it's more like one person teaching the computer to do the job, which is more efficient, it's faster, more easy to tweak as well and change parameters and what you're looking for. So I think it's pretty fascinating that in 1.5 years, 12 lensed quasars were discovered just by using a machine learning technique. And it's just here, and it's going to stay because it's just a powerful astronomical tool. So yeah, this is my quadruple quasars bit, and of course it's going to help answer many questions. One of them will be to determine with high precision the expansion rate of the universe, and it's something that we are always trying to perfect and always understand better. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool one. So moving from one quasar bit to another, and please forgive me for the quasar overload, but it's just really cool. This one is about 2 black hole pairs that were found in distant merging galaxies. Again, just to remind people, when we say distant, we are also saying early. So earlier on in the history of the universe. So the picture I have here, of course, is an illustration of the 2 quasar pairs, of one of the 2 pairs. It's not exactly what you would see looking at it in the data, but it's really pretty. So the pairs were resolved using the Gemini North Observatory, which is an optical and infrared observatory. And the distance between each quasar in the pairs is about 10,000 light years, which means that these pairs probably belong to 2 merging galaxies. So you have one galaxy here, one quasar, or galaxy with a quasar, another one, and they basically come together, merging, and that's how you get these really close, like small distances between the quasar pairs. Now, this data that we saw basically showed us the merger, or the 2 galaxies merging, as they were 10 billion years ago. So we are looking at very early universe. And we are actually looking at the time where most of the galaxies that we see in the observable universe today were actually formed. So that was a peak galaxy formation epoch. So looking at these pairs actually will help astronomers understand better how we could get supermassive black hole binaries at such an early time in the universe. And that's really important in understanding how these monstrous supermassive objects come to be formed, essentially. So yeah, that was my second quasar-related bit. Again, apologies for the quasar overload, but come on, it is cool, right? It's really cool. And I will leave you with the space news and weather bit. So this is a picture of the sun taken today. There is no sunspots. It's completely blank, very quiet. And apparently, the new solar cycle hasn't kicked off yet. We're still in a very, very deep solar minimum. And there are no sunspots present. And it looks like solar activity will remain quite low for the next couple of days or so. So no auroras, I'm afraid. It's okay. We will have to deal with it. Maybe watch a film instead. Who knows? Something like that. And of course, I want to remind people that Ingenuity's first flight is scheduled for Sunday. So
oh my God, that's so exciting.
I know, right? I'm like, imagining what this means, you know, like we're basically trying to get a helicopter to fly in another planet. It's just, I don't know, is it just me that gets goosebumps, or is it other people as well?
No, I've got goosebumps and a kind of like teary feeling in my eyes then thinking about
right?
it.
I feel the same
so exciting.
way. It's just like we've started from the cave, essentially, and we've gone to Mars. We've sent a helicopter to Mars. I think it's a massive step for humanity, I think. So I really hope it goes well and it's successful, and I keep both fingers crossed. Something I could not do last week, and it was I just couldn't do it or move my hands. It was so weird.
Eleni, thank you so much for all of your hard work and such a lovely presentation. I know you're a very busy girl, so thank you on behalf of everybody at the SPA for your participation and joining in.
Me. You too. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I love the team here on Pop Astro Live. Sonia, just love seeing the way Sonia has flourished from sending me messages saying, I can't possibly do that, into being one of the most confident natural TV presenters you could ever imagine. And Eleni, such a great sport as well. We've had a great show today. Now, somebody's been missing from the show. Do you know who we have had a lack of this evening? Let me just wet my whistle. Wow, 1.5 hours presenting, and I can feel my throat closing up. Let's have a look at the comments. The wings moved today. Oh, did it have a little flutter? Thank you, Eleni. Fascinating as usual. Those quad quasars. What was it? The dragon's kite and the microscope and the wolf paw. I love gravitational lensing. I don't know why. There's something about it that I absolutely love. And the machine learning is helping to detect loads more incredible lensing. Cosmo, I love it that you've noticed that Cosmo's not been on. Like I would have never noticed that on a TV show. You lot are good. Right, okay, Cosmo. 2 amazing quasar stories. Amazing quasars. Right, where's Cosmo? He's here. He is fresh back from his flight around the universe. He's been having a little snoop on Ingenuity, the helicopter. He says it's going to be good. He says it's going to fly like an eagle through the very tenuous atmosphere of Mars. But where's Cosmo? I can't believe you actually even noticed. Yes, he smells good. Okay. Now, if you're new to the Cosmo guessing game, last but not least, Cosmo the abandoned telescope sloth likes to feed me clues into my ear, which I then relay to you. Now, I'm going to give you 3 clues. I know there's some very learned astronomers here who could guess this instantly, but that takes the fun out of it for the other people who might not be as hot on their astro knowledge, or people who are fiddling on the phones and not paying attention. Wake up, here comes the quiz. So please don't answer until I say go. I'm going to give you 3 answers. Okay. They're very cryptic. Wow, there was a long streak on the sun today in the H alpha images. Not sure what the correct name for the feature is. Ooh, what could it be? What would it be? One of them lines, like a line of filament kind of seen from edge on. Would it be that? What would it be? Tell me. Please tell me. Any of you solar images out there. Okay. So Cosmo. Ooh, it's far away. You were late home for your tea. A prominence, maybe? Yeah. Maybe. Okay. So he's been really far away. The combined mass of the objects are 5 times that of the Earth. A filament. There you go. Did I say filament? Did I? Hang on. My comments have gone crazy. Thank you, Robin. Filament. Can't remember whether I said prominence or filament. I'd be well impressed if I got it right. I have been paying attention. Honest. A filament. There we go. A filament. Oh, hang on. The comments are moving so quick that I can't even catch them. Okay, where have you been, Cosmo? It's the combined mass of the objects are 5 times that of the Earth. So if you scrunched up all of the objects in this area where Cosmo has been, it would be 5 times the mass of the Earth. They're spread over a really big distance. There are trillions of objects here that are larger than 1 kilometer. Thank you, Vicky. Did I lose Cosmo? No, I never lost him. He sits on my desk. Oh, no, he's been away. He's been away on his holes. A filament is a prominence seen against the bright surface. Oh, okay. So it's instead of looping out, it's seen from front on. Well, there you go. Did not know that. Okay. There are trillions of objects here larger than 1 kilometer. Now, this area, Cosmo says, asteroids. I'm sorry, David, you've got it wrong twice because you answered before I said so, and you've also got the answer wrong. Well, actually, you haven't really got the answer wrong, actually, but it's where he's been rather than what the objects are. This area is only loosely bound to the solar system, and it is easily affected by the gravitational pull of both passing stars and the Milky Way itself. How good is that? You are wrong. Right, go. Where have we been? Combined mass of the objects are 5 times that of the Earth. There are trillions of objects larger than 1 kilometer, and this area is affected occasionally by passing stars and the Milky Way itself. Where's he been? Who's going to be first? Whoa, Ken, I'm afraid you need to go back to astronomy school. It's not the Kuiper Belt. It's way beyond that. Who was the first on my comments to come through? Well done, Catherine. He's been all the way out to the Oort cloud. What was it like there? He said it was rubbish and he's got no tan. But at least he didn't have COVID. So that was good. Yeah, the Oort cloud is like a weird shell of objects around. They're so far out, much further than my arms can reach. It's very far out. And it's thought that that's where some comets live. Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud. No, it's beyond the Kuiper Belt. It's the Oort cloud. That's how the solar system keeps its pants up, is with the Kuiper Belt. And I was reading about Jan Oort, the oh god, my brain is going now. I should have written this down. I think the Dutch astronomer who theorized the existence of the Kuiper Belt in an Oort cloud, not the Kuiper Belt at all, the Oort cloud in the 1950s. I don't know how Mark is going to do a 5-day presentation. I feel like I'm losing my marbles after an hour and a half of talking nonstop. I'm going to go. I've got to go. My throat is closing up. But at least the internet. He's cold and pale, but at least he's still got his lovely smile. I know that's a nice thing for you to say about Paul Sutherland, Gwyneth. So thank you very much. Right, I'm going to go now. Are we going to go, Cosmo? Going to go and play? Might see some stars tonight. I hope wherever you are, you've got clear skies. Incoming maybe for some people over the weekend. Please share the video. Hit the share button right now, please. It helps proliferate our work around the cosmos. It would be lovely if you could share the video. Go and buy your SPA merch. Get your mug. Danny wants a mug. Thank you to Danny and Mark and Eleni and Sonia and everybody else who's helped me out. Next week, we've got the shyest girl in astronomy is finally coming on. Catherine Rayner Evans is finally coming on to do a presentation on, I can't going to say it, philately, stamp collecting and the 60th anniversary of the first human being in space. Thank you for a wonderful show. Aren't they great? Thank you, David. And if anybody wants to friend me on Facebook, just look for Vicky Duncalf. I will be there. It was a lovely show, wasn't it? Thank you for your comments, Catherine. Lovely, lovely. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to write a comment before I go. Check my phone. You've got 10 seconds to ping me a comment and I'll just ease off for a minute because normally what happens is I switch the off button and all these comments flood up. So let's have a look. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me for an hour and a half. I realise that is a long time out of your time. But what else were you going to be doing? It was a great show. Thank you, Ken. And nice to chat with you earlier on today while I was out on the peninsula. I was waving at you in Southport. I'll see you all soon. You did it again. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is my ego section. I shouldn't really do this, actually. They say you shouldn't publish your own I can't even think of the word. I need to go. I'll see you soon. God, how is he going to do 5 days? Can't even do an hour and a half. It's hurting. Bye. Share the video. Goodbye. He's saying bye.